Hello students, welcome back to the Alchemist series. Today I'm going to talk about a functional group, alcohol. Alcohols are organic functional groups. I'm sure you all know what functional groups are, but I'll still let you know. A functional group is a group of atoms that decide the chemical property of a compound. Like over here, the OH is a group of atoms which decide the properties of all alcohols. So every alcohol will have an OH. Hence, in the general formula, we write CnH2n plus 1 and we put an OH, which signifies that it is having an OH functional group. The parent hydrocarbon has an OH attached, so the name will always begin from the parent hydrocarbon. For example, if there were 3 carbon atoms in the parent and then there was an OH, we will say propane because of 3 carbons and OH, so alcohol, and it's on the first carbon. So propane 1-ol. If it was only two carbon atoms, we would say ethanol. We did not need to say the placement of ol because there are just 2 carbons. So from either side, it would be 1 only. The ol always comes at the end of the name and it always has to be specified where it is if there are more than 3 carbon atoms. So I hope this is very clear and we can move on. The naming of alcohols are very simple. We just remove the E and we put anol. So ethane, there's an E. We remove that and we put anol. Ethanol. OH being the functional group. While you're drawing the structural formula, please note that each carbon can have only 4 bonds. So this carbon has 3 hydrogens and a carbon attached to it. The second carbon has 2 hydrogens, another carbon before that, and a single bond O. All alcohols are weakly acidic in nature. If we talk about their physical properties, they're all soluble in water. We know that alcohols are the best solvents also. So they are used as solvents in all the medicines. However, their solubility will decrease as the number of molecules, number of atoms in that molecule increases. All the alcohols from 1 carbon atom to 4 carbon atoms are liquids at room temperature. They are very slightly acidic in nature. Hence, alcohols will never react with any compounds of metal. They'll only react with a metal. The alcohols, we'll take an example of ethanol. Ethanol can be manufactured from 2 processes. One is hydration, second is fermentation. Hydration is when ethene is reacted with steam. Water in gaseous state is called steam. Now this reaction is a very important industrial reaction, but it needs specific conditions. We need to memorize these conditions because they are asked for 3 marks at exam. The phosphoric acid is the catalyst. The reaction takes place at 300 degrees C centigrade and 60 atmospheric pressure. Here phosphoric acid is a catalyst. All of us know that catalyst is a substance that increases the rate of a reaction by finding an alternative path with a lower activation energy. We must know the definition or the meaning of the term catalyst. Hence, this method is also called as catalytic addition of steam. Addition means where something is added to another element, another compound to give one product. The second method of formation of ethanol is fermentation. Fermentation is a chemical process in which microorganisms like yeast, they react with carbohydrates to produce alcohol and carbon dioxide. Bubbles of carbon dioxide are seen, which can be tested with lime water. Lime water turns milky in presence of carbon dioxide. This experimental setup can be easily done in a school lab where we take some sugar, which is having carbohydrate, and a little bit of yeast to it. After some time, we'll find that bubbles are produced and the gas passes through lime water, turning it milky. And what remains behind is an alcohol. This is a slow method, hence takes time to form. We need to know the differences between hydration and fermentation for 2 marks at exam. Hydration is using finite resources like alkene, whereas fermentation uses renewable resources like carbohydrates, yeast. Hydration is a continuous and a fast process, hence it's used in industries. Fermentation happens in batches. One batch of alcohol is brewed, then we need to rechange and restart again. So it's a batch process and takes a long time. However, it still produces an impure product, hence it is to be further refined. Whereas hydration produces a pure product. See that you learn at least 2 of these differences. Lastly, we'll understand some uses of ethanol. Ethanol is a very efficient solvent. Hence, it's not only used in chromatography. You must have done the lab on that. It's also used in perfumes, paints, alcoholic drinks. It is used for oxidation of various food products so that they can be preserved. It is used for fuel. Nowadays, ethanol is treated as a biofuel. I hope this much is understood. If you have some doubts, please feel free to comment. Please like and subscribe this channel. Enjoy chemistry.